Welcome to Yoga with Cynthia. I'm Cynthia Bialik, and both the host and the producer for this program. And Irene is here with me. We're going to be demonstrating yoga asanas for you. Today's show is very different. It's called Yoga for the Love of the Lotus. The lotus flower, if you don't know, is one of the symbols for yoga. And it also is the name of one of the yoga poses. There's a half lotus and there's a full lotus. Both require a lot of hip flexibility. But is there a way to get there? A lot of people think this is an impossibility. My hips will never do that. My knees bother me. Well, today we are going to work on different yoga asanas to improve the flexibility of the hips. We're going to be doing some modifications for some of the asanas to improve your flexibility around the hip through the inner thighs, the gracilis muscles, the gluteus, as well as tractioning the spine, because we need to be fully lengthened in order to do a lot of twisting, which also helps with hip flexibility. So we're going to start with our right leg in front of our left. And first, we're going to pull the chest up towards your thighs. And we're going to do a little bit of warming up here. So we're on our sits bones. And I want you to move back and forth on our sits bones. And then I want you to move around the sits bones like you're moving on the inside of a barrel, pressing the back of the body and the sides of the body and the front of the body inside of that barrel. And now let's reverse that movement, moving around. And now we're going to take the chest forward, the shoulders back, and lift the rib cage. Use the strength of your back muscles, extending that spine up in the air. Deep breaths here. And now I want you to allow the legs to fall. So our right leg is in front of the left, and you're going to bring those hands to the front of your mat and fold forward. So some of you may be able to get the elbows down or just your hands down. Others of you will be able to come all the way down into the mat, snuggling the forehead down into the mat. Now come back up, and we're going to bring that left arm out to the side, traction the spine here, and just fall to your left. Stretching those lats. And as we come up, I want you to lift your left knee up in the air so your toes are under your right leg. We're going to reach up with the right arm, take the right arm back, look over the right shoulder, take your left arm up high. I'm going to reach out and around that left thigh. Look up over your right shoulder. Open the chest as much as you can. Look back over the right shoulder. And here we go. We're going to grab a hold of that left leg and just bring it out in front of your right. Lift the knees up once again. And this time, instead of moving around the hips, we're going to move front and back. So lift the chest. Allow your erector spinae muscles to extend, strengthening the back. Then drive the navel into your spine. Tuck the tailbone and use the strength of your abs there. And pull forward. Erector spinae. And rectus abdominis. Pull forward, breathe in, exhale and pull back. Continue pulling forward and pulling back. One more time, pull forward here. Exhale and pull back. And just hold there. Now lift the arms up in the air. Traction the spine here, and we're going to let that left leg come down, let the right leg come behind it, and start to fall forward. And again, those of you that feel you can, continue on forward. Now come up and take your right arm out to the side. Lift your left arm up and start to pull to the right. Just getting a deep stretch in the lats. And as we lift up, we're going to bring that right leg up. Slide your right foot under your left ankle. Take your left arm in the air. And then reach back behind you with your left arm. Then reach up with your right arm, tractioning the spine here. Reach forward and bind around that right leg. And look over your left shoulder. Open the chest, looking back over your left shoulder. Then we're going to move right into the reclining pigeon, and we're going to address that right hip first. So take your right leg down on the mat, and we're going to swing our left leg back, keeping that right foot across to the left side of your mat. Now take your left hand on the top of your foot and just hold it in place as you get your elbows down. Then once you're down, just let your left hip come to the ground. And slide your right hand to the middle of that right shin. And we're going to take that left arm up, reach back, bend your left knee, reach for the instep of your foot, and flex your foot. Look back over your left shoulder. Now drop that leg down, lift your rib cage up just a little higher. Now we're going to try a twist. Take your right arm up, bend your left knee again and reach back for the instep of that foot. Once again, look over your right shoulder. Lift your chest up. Deep breath. Now before we go to the other side, we're going to fall into our right hip and slide your left leg onto the outside of your right knee. And then bring that left arm back. Once again, take your right arm up in the air and bring that right arm on the outside of your left leg. Give it a little push. And if you can, take those hands off the mat and bring them into prayer. Looking back over your left shoulder. Now with that added stretch, just drop that left leg to the mat. Slide over onto your right hip. And put your right hand on the bottom of your left foot. Slowly come down into the right hip, stretching the psoas as you stretch the glute medius and minimus on your left side. Dropping down as close to the mat as you feel comfortable. Now take your time because we're going to come back up and place your left hand in the middle of your mat. Bend your right knee, reach for the instep of your right foot, and look back over your right shoulder. And let's start to twist. Take your left arm in the air, reach back, and look over your left shoulder. And we're going to keep flowing. Drop that right leg down. Bring that right leg to the outside of your left knee. Lifting your left arm up high. Keep your right arm behind your right hip and press against the outside of your right leg. And if you can, go ahead and bring those hands in prayer. Look over your right shoulder. And let's come back to the center of our mats. So, you may have heard this pose, Baddha Konasana, referred to as butterfly. So we're going to actually butterfly our Baddha Konasana. We're going to bring those legs out and we're going to bring them in. But here's what we're going to do. When we bring those legs out, we're going to reach for the balls of our feet and we're going to look forward, bringing the head down as close as you can towards your heels. Then we're going to come back up, bring the knees together, round out the back and drop the head into your knees. So getting a really good stretch through the thoracic spine, through the whole back, really, if you can bring the head down into your knees. Then drop those legs out to the side, pull your chest forward, breathe in, look forward and hold there. Exhale and pull back. Drive that head down into your knees. And again, once again, bring that chest forward. Breathe deep. Exhale and pull back. Now we're going to place those hands behind the back. Before we come down to the mat, lift your rib cage up in the air. And then slowly roll down into the mat. Take your heels right up to the buttocks. And once again, stretching the psoas, we're going to bear down into the heels, lifting those hips up high, engaging the glutes, using the strength of our back muscles, keeping those hips up high, stretching around the hip. Those psoas muscles really need to be lengthened. Come on down and breathe. Exhale and hold. Then inhale and lift. Breathe deep and continue to breathe here. And come back down. Now slide your right leg over your left and move that leg like we did in butterfly. Now just rest your right leg over your left and lift those hips in the air. Deep breath. And if you can, support your hips, placing those hands underneath the buttocks, pulling those hips up high. Deepen your breaths. Then if you can, extend your right leg up, flex your foot in the air, take that leg over, and slowly come back. Now grab a hold of your left leg and pull that left leg against the outside of your right leg. And just hold that stretch. Breathe deeply in and out through the nose. And let's release that leg. Uncross those legs, push into the floor, lift the rib cage up, breathe deep in through the nose. Exhale and hold. Breathe deep. Exhale, come down and breathe. Exhale and hold there. One more time. Up we go. Push into the heels. Lift your hips as high as you can, stretching the psoas, stretching those quads, engaging the glutes and the hamstrings. Slowly come back down, and we're going to take our left leg over the right. And now, pushing into those heels, lift up. And if you want to add a little bit of lift, you can place your hands underneath your hips. Lift your hips a little higher. Then take your left leg up in the air. Hold it there, flex your foot, pushing up through your left heel, then take it over. Deep breath in. Exhale and lower those hips down. Grab your right leg and pull back. Stretching through the groin, stretching through the glute medius and minimus. Stay there and breathe. Now we're going to uncross the legs. Left leg is going to be straight out on your mat. And I want you to hold on to the right knee and draw it back as close to the chest as you can. Then slowly take that right heel over to your left hip. Hold on to the ball of your right foot and see if you can take it down. Try to relax your inner thighs, relax the gracilis, reaching back over your head with your right arm. And that, pull it back slowly. Again, and grab the ball of your left foot, pull it underneath your right hip into a reclining half lotus. Bring both arms over your shoulders and stretch the rectus abdominis. Try to relax those inner thighs. Bring your elbows down to the ground, and we're going to come up into that seated version of our half lotus. Now, some of you may want to try a full lotus from here. If you can, you're going to slide your left leg out in front and just bring that left heel over to your right hip. And bring your hands out. Also do a twist. Take that right arm up and just reach back for your left foot. Grab a hold of the left foot with your right. Look over the right shoulder. And we're going to try that same thing on the other side. Let's come back. Bring those heels to the mat. Round out the back, come down slowly into the mat. And now this time we're going to straighten that right leg. Slide your left knee into the chest, cradle that leg in towards your rib cage. Move the ball of your foot around and grab the ball of your left foot. Bring it over your right hip and drop that left knee down. Reach overhead with your left arm. Stretch that arm back as far as you can. Now slide your right leg up against the left. Reach down with your left arm and grab that foot. Bring it under your left hip and just drop those knees down. If you can, bring both arms over your shoulders. Hold there. Now bring your elbows to the ground and come up to that seated half lotus. Stay there and breathe. And if any of you want to try the full lotus from this position, just take your right heel from underneath the left hip and bring it up over that left. And if you want to add that twist, we can reach back, left arm reaching for the left foot. Twist and hold. Or if you want to try that double bind, you can try to reach back and grab both feet from behind. Now let's release those legs. Bring the arms in the air, and in prayer. Full lotus pose. And let's release those legs. Wonderful. How did you do at home? That's quite an intense stretch. So let's go ahead and bring those knees together, and we're going to do a little side twist. Let's take that right leg over your left and just let your body stretch. So you're bringing your left knee down to the ground, letting those outer thighs stretch. Bring your right arm straight out. And just reach over your shoulder with your left arm. Nice IT band stretch. Totally relax in the body here. Breathe deeply in and out through the nose. And come back to center. Take that left heel over the right. Drag your right knee to the left side of your mat. Left arm is straight out, right arm is over your shoulder, and look to the left. Now bring those arms back, reach over your shoulders, stretch the body long on the mat, move the balls of your feet in circles. And now place your hands right by your hips, bend your knees, and we're going to roll all the way back up. Now once we're here, we're going to take our heels out into staff pose and really stretch the hamstrings out. So while we're doing a lot of bending of the knees, your hamstrings may have gotten tight. So just place your hands by your hips and we're going to lift the heels off the mat, really engage those quads so you feel not only the hamstring stretching, but the calf, the soleus, the Achilles. And now bring both arms up in the air. Deep breath in. Exhale, fold to your toes. Let your head drop to your knees. Reach towards the heels and get a complete stretch in your back. And come back up, bring the arms up in the air, and just really isolate the core. Slowly come down into the floor, one vertebrae at a time. Slowly ease down. And bring the arms back over your shoulders. Stretch long. And now we're going to move the right arm down to your hip. Take your left arm over to the right side and just get a deep stretch for the lats on the left side. Bring both arms back over your shoulders. Take your left arm down to your left hip. Reach over to the left with your right arm, getting a deep stretch there. And bring those arms back together. Let's cross the ankles and roll over to your right side, coming up into easy pose. And with all that hip stretching, do you feel more at ease in easy pose? Hopefully so. Thank you for joining us today. This has been Yoga with Cynthia. Namaste until next time. But join us here for a seated meditation. Bring those hands over the knees. Close your eyes and breathe deeply in and out through the nose, focusing on your breath with your mouth closed.